And welcome to Onichan. Today, I'll introduce an anime film that has made a splash in the anime community. It tells the story of a person who was shunned and abandoned by society. Suddenly, he is granted a power from another world, but this power remains unchanged when he's in real time. This transformation is tied to his appearance and destiny, enabling him to live a life that many people dream of. However, it also brings him numerous troubles, as he holds too much power. On a quiet day on the street, there was a girl being harassed by some guys. Despite having a chubby and awkward figure, Juja didn't hesitate to step in and help her. These guys saw this chubby kid with great courage, daring to play the hero and rescue the damsel. So they decided to teach him a lesson, and they gave him a few blows, making the poor girl cry out in pain. Afterward, Juja quietly embraced the pain from those beatings and walked away without saying a word, when he was accustomed to such treatment, as his life consisted of days filled with physical abuse and torment, along with hurtful remarks from his friends. Even his family wasn't the most supportive, as Juja experienced differential treatment compared to his two siblings, which reminded him of his late foster grandfather. His grandfather had taught him to strive for goodness, but that all changed on the day when the old man passed away, leaving Juja the entire inheritance without considering his parents. Thus, the young boy bid farewell to his grandparents and fended for himself, struggling to make a living each day. Upon graduating from middle school, Yuya thought he would finally escape from the clutches of the school bullies, especially the notorious seniors. However, these guys weren't about to let him off the hook easily, and they caught him again, giving him a few blows. But all their efforts were in vain because Yuya had successfully mastered the martial art of endured, and he unleashed a fatal attack on the mirror to forgetting the sorrow of those times. Unexpectedly, Yuya discovered his late grandfather's secret room. He approached and opened the portal to another world, and to his surprise, it revealed information that he was the rightful owner of this place. There was a board displaying Yuya's power information, and he was astonished to realize that he was inside a house in another world. The previous owner, his grandfather, had long departed from this world, bestowing the ownership and entire inheritance to whoever found this secret room. Feeling curious, Yuya unsheathed the sword to examine it and was amazed to find that it was a genuine weapon. He took it to the garden to test it out, but with his chubby figure, he struggled to wield it properly. Yuya continuously changed his weapons, trying to see if any of them suited him. He spent the entire day switching weapons, but couldn't find one that felt right. When he checked the power information, he noticed that he had acquired various martial arts skills. The author must have thought he was too useless, so they gave him some extra power to fit into the storyline. But not forgetting to challenge his younger brother, a monster suddenly rushed and attacked furiously. However, the house they were in had special protective barriers, preventing any monster from infiltrating. Just by looking at the monster, Yuya felt extremely scared, but he summoned all his courage as a man and decided to face the monster. Though his hand trembled as he closed his eyes and attacked, to his surprise, the monster was defeated in just one strike. Despite his success, Yuya was still terrified, when it was his first time doing such a thing. He quickly checked his power level, and it showed he had reached level 100. Then, he checked the dropped items from the defeated monster and found some valuable ones, so he decided to collect and reuse them. After receiving a power buff in the other world, during the night, Yuya underwent a genetic transformation, turning into a muscular young man with a handsome Korean-like face and six-pack abs. His old clothes no longer fit him, but everything changed for the better. Yuya developed an interest in cultivating plants and medicinal herbs, and he took meticulous care of his new garden. Whenever pesky monsters came to disturb him, he dispatched them effortlessly, leaving them in awe. One time, he defeated a monster and found a beautiful necklace it dropped. He decided to wear it, adding to his divine and stylish appearance. With his level now at 150, Yuya enjoyed his new life in the other world and gradually developed a liking for hunting the monsters around his home. Yuya honed his combat skills and was no longer afraid of any monsters. He confidently showcased his personality while effortlessly taking down any bothersome creatures that dared to cross his path. Returning to his everyday life, Yuya remained unaware of his changed appearance, which left everyone astonished at his divine-like beauty. Even the school bullies failed to recognize him, assuming he was a new student who didn't bother to greet his seniors. This made Yuya doubt the truth and head to the restroom to check himself in the mirror. After school, Yuya was surprised when Kaori personally came to meet him. She recognized him and recounted how he had saved her at the convenience store. Since she hadn't had a chance to thank him properly before, she wanted to repay that kindness by inviting him to the prestigious Usei Academy. However, Yuya felt inadequate academically and thought he couldn't attend such a high-level school. Kaori knew about his concerns and assured him that it wouldn't be an issue since her father was the principal of the school. Despite her reassurance, Yuya felt uneasy and wanted to decline the offer. When Yuya's two younger siblings heard about the prestigious Usei Academy, they wanted to request 2 spots to join him. However, Kaori knew that these two were troublemakers, and immediately turned down their request. Due to their past mischiefs against their older brother, Kaori called Yuya to visit her Usei Academy. This school was exclusively for exceptional students or children from the wealthiest and noblest families. Today, Yuya was honored to have the opportunity to visit the academy, where the principal personally welcomed him. The principal learned about Yuya's brave act of saving his daughter, and was eager for him to transfer to Usei Academy, that all expenses would be, and the only condition was to ensure the safety of his daughter. As Yuya excelled at Usei Academy, the principal considered the possibility of having his daughter become involved with him. The principal instructed teacher Sawada to help Yuya integrate with the other students. Luck seemed to be on Yuya's side as he gradually adapted to his new appearance, though it was a bit overwhelming at first. When Yuya entered the classroom and introduced himself, his stunning looks left his classmates stunned for a good 5 seconds. Such a handsome and extraordinary guy had suddenly appeared in their midst, leaving the girls at a loss for words. Teacher Sawada arranged for Yuya to sit next to a cold and aloof girl, which made him feel unsure and thinking he might be disliked. However, he soon realized that the students at Usei were enthusiastic and friendly, eager to make new acquaintances. Ryu invited Yuya to have lunch with him in the cafeteria. Yuya was amazed by the variety of delicious food. He felt happy to have made new friends in this environment. At the end of the school day, Kaori went to visit Yuya to talk about their day, and suggested going out together to get to know each other better. Yuya, feeling a bit shy and unsure, led her to a pedestrian street and bought her a fruit-flavored ice cream. They had a pleasant conversation that caught the attention of the people around them. Yuya still felt nervous and couldn't believe he was sitting with such a beautiful girl. Kaori, on the other hand, felt happy to be close to him. She playfully offered Yuya a bite of her ice cream, and he accepted, taking just 1 bite, but in a slightly exaggerated manner, which surprised Kaori. She playfully retaliated by taking a bite of his pastry, and they ended up playfully sharing the desserts together. After their delightful date, Yuya had to return to the other world to earn money and support his beautiful crush. He swiftly defeated monsters, gaining both valuable items and experience points. However, some monsters still posed a challenge, which made him curious about what lay deeper in the forest. Following strange cries, he stumbled upon a scene where a monster was about to attack a girl. As Yuya confronted the monster, they engaged in a fierce battle. The monster was too weak to pose a real threat to Yuya, but it managed to push him against a tree. Unfazed, Yuya calmly took out his divine weapons one after another, overwhelming the creature until it was defeated. After the battle, Yuya found the girl lying unconscious nearby. He noticed the approaching soldiers coming to rescue her and quickly hid, and returning to his real world to continue his daily life, attend school. However, he realized that his clothes were worn out, so he decided to visit the mall to buy new ones. On his way to the store, everyone noticed Yuya's divine appearance, and he felt unsure about choosing the right outfit. 2 young girls approached him, trying to entice him into shopping with them, but now that he had become a godlike figure, he wasn't easily swayed by such invitations. He politely declined their offer and made plans with other friends instead. Those words made the 2 female friends freeze in their tracks. On the other side, the talent manager for the photo models was extremely angry, because the show was late for his photo shoot project. It made him want to fire show's manager right away, and he decided not to wait any longer. Instead, he would find a photo model in this supermarket immediately. The manager noticed that Yuya fit perfectly for this photo shoot, so he asked him to be the male model alongside the beautiful female model. This surprised Yuya, but due to his financial situation, he had to accept the offer, together with the female model, and the manager couldn't stop capturing their moments as they both looked outstanding. Yuya was so overwhelmed that he cried out, as it was his first time shooting intimate photos with such a gorgeous girl. Made him extremely embarrassed with his alluring physique, while the model Miu was so accustomed to this that she didn't hesitate to embrace Yuya, making him immensely happy. On the other hand, the princess, after being rescued from the forest, yearned day and night for her brave knight, and wanted to venture into the dangerous forest again to find him. This terrified the soldiers, as they had previously encountered great peril in that very place. Back to Yuya, he was giving his all in his part-time job, But when he heard the inquiries from the model Mew, he became increasingly flustered. Could it be that Yuya is now so overwhelmed that he can't control himself anymore? After having a friendly conversation, Yuya learned that Mew was a talented individual who had to take care of her own life, leading her to pursue a career as a photomodel. Today, she was delighted to collaborate with Yuya in creating couple photos. They both expressed emotions wonderfully in the pictures, make the famous model Sho jealous, with his name in the photogenic village, make the girls fall in love with this male beauty. Sho wanted to take Mew out to a restaurant after the photoshoot, but she declined, and he tried to use his charming techniques to win her over, making Yuya feel left out and unable to intervene. However, Sho found Yuya quite irritating and attempted to throw a punch at him, but Yuya swiftly evaded the attack, leaving Sho humiliated. At the supermarket, where thousands of eyes witnessed this extraordinary scene, Yuya was in a panic, unsure if he had been too aggressive made Sho might end up dead. However, the situation took a turn as everyone turned their backs on Sho, protecting Yuya from the angry fans, leaving Sho frustrated and fuming. The manager, on the other hand, wanted to invite Yuya to join his modeling agency, offering attractive benefits and the opportunity to work with professional models. Feeling inexperienced, Yuya believed he wouldn't excel at the job and declined the offer. However, this caught the attention of the model Mew. To express gratitude for those godlike photo shoots, the manager gifted Yuya expensive clothes, hoping for a chance to collaborate again. As a result, Yuya ended up with some high-end outfits, and his life changed drastically. Here, the enthusiastic soldiers are attacking the monsters to protect Princess Lexia. General Owen passionately broke the enchantment of the spinning trap, but one monster was about to attack the princess when Yuya swiftly struck it down with a single blow. In that moment, he single-handedly took down the entire enemy team, leaving the princess in awe and admiration for this brave knight. Not only that, but he also saved all the wounded soldiers, earning Lexia's heart. Lexia was so impressed that she even expressed her desire to marry Yuya on the spot, but General Owen quickly reminded her of her royal status. He advised her to be discreet and not rush into things, cautioning her against falling for every handsome man she meets and to consider the background of any potential partner. However, despite the warnings, her love for Yuya couldn't be stopped, as it was a love at first sight. But Yuya didn't pay much attention, and told them to come to his house and argue there. It was then that General Owen introduced himself as a representative from the kingdom of Arcelia, which surprised Yuya greatly. He couldn't believe his luck, being proposed to by a princess. However, General Owen and Lexia had a whispered conversation, questioning whether Yuya, a daring adventurer, would be worthy of her. Despite Owen's doubts, Lexia didn't care about any of it, leaving him helpless against her infatuation with Yuya. She expressed her gratitude to Yuya for saving her twice and didn't know how to repay his sincere affection. Therefore, Lexia wanted to marry Yuya as a way to show her heartfelt appreciation. Yuya was taken aback and overwhelmed by the sudden attention from numerous girls, leaving him unaware of Lexia's true feelings. This led the princess to contemplate her love for him. When love is not easily attained and must endure obstacles and challenges, Lexia decides to become friends with Yuya first. She believes that through their friendship, they can eventually progress from friendship to love, and one day, Yuya will love her back. However, now the princess has to return to her kingdom because her father, the king, is deeply worried about her. General Owen still hasn't forgotten to extend an invitation to Yuya to meet the king, and Yuya has scheduled the meeting, when he's busy with his studies this week, and promising to see the king as soon as possible. Afterward, he returns to his everyday life, and with his godlike looks and attracts a lot of attention. While watching a school football match, the players exhibit great enthusiasm in moving the ball, and an impressive move by Ryu captures the admiration of many female spectators. Yuya was approached by a fellow student named Kaide, who struck up a conversation to get to know him better. They talked about Ryu's impressive football skills, how he single-handedly dominated the entire team. However, they also noted that having an excellent teammate like Akira was essential. Akira received the ball and moved towards the goal, but accidentally hit the ball towards Kaide. In that moment, Yuya reacted swiftly and delivered a powerful kick that sent the ball flying back into the goal from hundreds of meters away. Everyone was left in awe. Beautiful shot, and Kaide started to be captivated by his handsome and skilled performance. Akira felt guilty about the incident. He apologized to Kaide and offered to make it up to her, but she straightforwardly declined his offer. Meanwhile, Yuya's cool and impressive actions garnered him admiration from many girls at school, as they all wanted to get to know him. Kaide shared with her friend Kaori the scene where Yuya saved the ball for her, and Kaori was thrilled to hear about it. To have a handsome guy like Yuya stepping in to protect her left her feeling delighted. Yuya's reputation as admired and impressive guy made Kaori feel envious, wondering if she could compete with other girls for his attention. Meanwhile, Yuya was attending his class when he spotted Kaori in the schoolyard. Suddenly, a gang known as the Red Ogre surrounded the group of students to capture Kaori. It turned out that Yuya's two younger siblings had hired this gang for revenge, as they felt humiliated for not being invited to Usei Academy previously. Now, they wanted to show Kaori the consequences of disrespecting the two of them. Tensions escalated as the gang leader ordered his men to capture Kaori. However, in these life-threatening moments, Yuya was struck with anxiety, rendering him unable to move. His past psychological trauma resurfaced, and despite being trained to fight terrifying monsters, he still feared the schoolyard bullies. With one powerful punch, Yuya regained his composure, walked towards the window on the 4th floor and leapt outside. Swiftly, he charged at the old gang that used to bully him. They rushed to attack Yuya, but with his current strength, they were no longer a match for him. However, their ace card appeared when a sumo-sized guy charged at Yuya. He quickly grabbed the attacker's head, tossed him aside, and then rescued Kaori. Yet, the leader of the gang, wielding a motorbike, determined to show Yuya the consequences of facing the Red Ogre gang, with his skilled driving, he launched a series of relentless attacks that left Yuya bewildered. But karma caught up to him when he lost control of the bike and crashed into a wall. The police swiftly apprehended the entire gang. And Yuya's two younger siblings, still resentful, realized that hiring the Red Ogre gang had been utterly futile. The leader, upon hearing this, clenched his fist, wanting to silence the young one for good. Because it was the culprit who led the gang into this situation, and Yuya was very concerned about Kaori, but he didn't expect the little girl to pretend to faint, just to be embraced by him. Then Yuya saw his younger brother about to ascend to heaven, so he had to intervene to stop him. The gang leader intended to attack, but he was intimidated by that sharp look in Yuya's eyes. On the other hand, continued to forgive his two siblings for their wrongdoings, which moved them to tears. The next day, Yuya ventured further into the otherworld to hone his combat skills. The monsters there were no longer a match for him, so the training session for hunting monsters came to an end. Suddenly, Yuya heard the cries of a dog. It turned out that a boar monster was attacking a dog, who was putting up a brave fight but was still no match for the powerful boar. The boar continued to stomp on the young boy several times, and Yuya realized that this monster was quite powerful. Due to his limited abilities, he had no choice but to overlook it. However, feeling pity for the injured dog, which had been beaten badly by the creature, Yuya mustered all his strength and charged forward, even though he knew he could only scratch the surface of the boar's power. To his surprise, with just one strike, Yuya managed to defeat the boar effortlessly, and couldn't believe had accomplished. But he recalled that he himself had done something similar in the past. This made him curious about the sage's true identity. Meanwhile, the injured dog was struggling to defend itself but eventually became unconscious. Yuya administered some medicine to treat the dog's injuries, and had a conversation, where Yuya learned that the dog had no master and was living alone. So decided to adopt the dog to bring joy and happiness to his home. And named the dog Night, the Dark Knight. Surprisingly, Night turned out to be even stronger than Yuya. The two of them complemented each other perfectly, defeating monsters together. During their free time, Yuya would groom and care for Night, treating him as his own pet. Whenever Yuya went to school, he left Night at home to look after things, and he would ask his friends about pet shops. Kaide was the most enthusiastic in guiding Yuya, willingly helping him find the best supplies for Night. When Kaide spent time with Yuya rather than other guys, and enthusiastically went shopping for pet accessories with him, Night was overjoyed to see Yuya in the evening. Yuya lovingly put a cute collar around Night's neck and for a walk, proudly showing off new family member. This caught the attention of the girls around them, as not only was Yuya handsome, but he also showed a caring attitude towards animals. Fate seemed to work its magic when Yuya unexpectedly met Kaori. Whether it was a coincidence or intentional, Kaori also adored animals, and their encounter created a scene as romantic as a Korean drama, resembling a typical plot where the charming male lead meets a beautiful girl. Seeing how adorable Kaori was, Yuya couldn't help but be enchanted by her. He realized that taking care of Night didn't cost him anything, and added to his charm. However, he ran into the model Mew, and Yuya introduced the two girls to each other, leaving everyone around them surprised, as this young man seemed to have beautiful girls around him all the time. Due to the crowd, Mew couldn't stay long and suggested meeting Yuya another time to have a walk and talk. Kaori couldn't help but shed tears, feeling jealous and hurt that the boy she liked was surrounded by beautiful girls who pursued him. Suddenly, a thief snatched an old woman's belongings, prompting Yuya to call upon his pet to chase after the thief. Taking this opportunity, Yuya held Kaori's hand and walked up to the old woman to inquire about her well-being. Meanwhile, Knight managed to catch the thief and brought him back. When the thief realized the situation, he tried to attack Kaori. But Yuya swiftly intervened, restraining the thief and making everyone around them admire his. That evening, Yuya continued his journey into the otherworld to conquer the treacherous Great Demon Forest. They displayed seamless teamwork, easily defeating the monsters that were no match for them. However, Knight felt challenged when he encountered another powerful pig-like monster and swiftly attacked to regain his confidence. Then deep within the forest, they encountered a high-level deer that possessed magical abilities. It seemed like a tough opponent, and had already detected Yuya, even though he used a stealth skill. Feeling that there was no other option, Yuya and Knight decided to face the deer head-on. Knight attacked first but was blocked and hit by the deer's dark magic. Yuya tried to engage, he was also countered and hit by the deer's powerful dark. They quickly realized that their initial approach was not effective against the deer's ranged attacks and magic. So, they changed their strategy, with Knight acting as a distraction to keep the deer's attention, and Yuya found an opening. It proved challenging as used its magic to attack from multiple directions. At that moment, the deer was unaware that it had exposed itself, so Yuya swiftly thrust his weapon, dealing a deadly blow. The deer left behind some valuable items, one of which was a hot spring bath, but they were both quite exhausted. They decided to return and take a brief rest by immersing themselves in the water. In the following days, Yuya ventured deeper into the forest to hunt more powerful monsters, but nothing could hinder the seamless cooperation between the two. The quick-paced porcupine fell into a trap and suffered a devastating attack, but Yuya discovered a hidden cave in the forest. To his astonishment, the cave held including ancient bones and a manual from a sage. In the manual, the sage recorded his life journey, from mastering cooking to cultivating the righteous path, approaching the realm of gods. However, he declined to join the ranks of the divine gods. And with the power Yuya currently possesses, it has not yet reached its full potential, and one day, he will make everyone tremble in fear of this power. Therefore, he chose to end his own existence, and not wanting to waste the resources of power he had built up in the past. So he stored it all away, passing it on to future successors who possessed the necessary qualities to become true knights. But Yuya is just an ordinary human, lacking magical abilities in his veins, thus unable to wield spells. So today, the sage will bestow his magical powers upon Yuya, for he senses that Yuya is worthy of receiving it, instead of letting it go to waste, and hopes he will use it responsibly, to perform deeds of great significance for society. Yuya was immensely grateful to the sage for bestowing him power, and promised to utilize it responsibly, so as not to disappoint him. Day and night, he delved into the study of the manual and began sensing the magical force within his heart. Surprised to find it incredibly potent, he then practiced using the magic, learning to cast spells according to his will. He decided to test his abilities on the field. The magic worked wonders, bringing him immense joy, as he never imagined he would reach this level of power. When he tried shooting a spell, it unexpectedly obliterated the trees in front of him. Meanwhile, General Owen reported Yuya's feat to the king, but another critical issue arose when Princess Lexia rashly proposed to someone, creating a difficult situation for the general to handle. Upon hearing this, the king was furious and vented his anger, wreaking havoc on the palace to ease his frustration. When mere peasant would dare to charm his daughter. Yuya continued his regular school routine, but the news about the extracurricular training session had left him feeling a bit unsure, as he wasn't accustomed to such outings. The session was designed for groups of 4, and everyone had paired up, except for Yuya, who was in a unique position. Everyone wanted to be in his group. As for Akira, he is also very enthusiastic, although he sometimes talks constantly, making others question his gender, when his body seems to be very similar to the female friends. Nonetheless, they needed proper equipment for their camping trip, so the group decided to visit a supermarket together to buy backpacks for each other. While on their way to the store, they coincidentally bumped into Kaori. She was thrilled to join them on shopping expedition, and together they picked out some high-quality backpacks. Then everyone had their own backpack. They proceeded to an entertainment area to play games. Yuya utilized his powers to identify the weaknesses in the games and secured victories, earning attractive prizes for his friends. Everyone wanted Yuya to play on their behalf to increase their chances of winning, as these machines rarely gave out rewards. his talent left everyone in awe and admiration. After a while, they decided to take a break and grab something to eat. The girls wanted some privacy, so they went to a separate floor designated for their gender. Yuya and the boys engaged in lively discussions about the beautiful girls, sparking their excitement. Suddenly, the fire alarm went off, causing panic as everyone rushed to evacuate. However, some of the girls were still on the upper floor, and Yuya couldn't leave them behind. He bravely ran back upstairs to rescue them, unwilling to lose his beloved friends. The flames were spreading rapidly, and Yuya immediately used his water magic to envelop his body. Before rushing inside to find Kaori, he found the girls unconscious, making it challenging to escape with 3 of them on his shoulders. But minor obstacles like a few flames couldn't hinder his love. However, that was just a joke because the situation had escalated beyond control. Yuya had to use his skills to destroy the floors and make a path to descend safely with the girls, leaving the onlookers in shock, as they couldn't comprehend what had happened. Nonetheless, he managed to rescue everyone safely. Kaori's father couldn't find the right words to thank Yuya for saving his daughter once again, leaving Kaori feeling extremely shy, as she feared everyone would know her feelings for Yuya. Today's video ends here, my friends. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support Onichan in future videos. Thank you all for watching, love you forever.